Hey, welcome to Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. Another great episode. You've got Randy here, and we've got
Pinky is in the house.
And, of course, you know it's Joel. What's going on, people? How's everybody doing today?
Oh, we just fine, honey. We're lucky to be here.
We're lucky to be here. Thank you for being with us on this lovely, rainy afternoon in Houston, Texas. On and off, on and off.
Yeah.
Goodness.
We had a little bit of flooding last night. It came down hard. Girl, I was worried you weren't going to be here today.
Oh, honey.
A lot of flooding. It depended on where you were.
God is good.
Mm-hmm.
God is good to me. And,
high.
honey, Kingwood got hit.
Kingwood got 8 inches of rain, girl. 8 inches of rain. They didn't get that much rain during Harvey.
Girl. I wish I had 8 inches. Anyway.
I was thinking 8.5, but
I wish I had got 8 inches last night. But
I just like the way the
It was
8.5 rolls off the tongue.
You know, I was laying on the couch, and I suddenly got a dick pic from one of my friends. When I say friends, you know what I mean. But from one of my friends, and I'm like, are you coming over or what? Don't just send me a dick pic unless you're coming up following up by.
Why would you do that?
What
is that's truly a cock tease. Sending
I know.
somebody a picture of your
Literally.
cock and
it's a
then
pretty
not
cock.
showing up.
It's a pretty cock.
That is, you're right, Pinky. I'm reticent to use the word literally unless it's used properly, and that is literally a cock tease.
That really is.
Especially if it's pretty. If it was ugly, you probably could have shrugged it off and man, I can
But
live
it was,
without that.
but
it's pretty.
It was pretty. Nice at the balls.
It's
hanging
hard.
just right.
Listen. It's hard to take. No pun intended. It's hard to take a good cock pic because you know you get it all ready, your cock all ready, and you get camera ready, and then it's snap the shot. If you don't snap the shot quick enough, things start to fade, so to speak.
And
Right?
and of course, you know, I would never reveal who sent me the. I'm not going to do that.
No, don't do
But
that.
the thing is that
You've never.
I
you
was
don't
actually
kiss-
shocked because
You don't kiss and tell. You never have.
yeah, exactly.
Peek and tell.
So I was actually shocked because I thought actually he was kind of a bottom. So when he sent me a dick pic, I'm like, oh, this is refreshing. I'm getting a dick pic instead of I get ass pics all the time. Ass pics out of the blue, just ass pics.
I don't understand the ass.
I don't
thing.
understand the ass pics either.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I have a really
understand.
great ass.
Even when he
bottoms
says ass
like to see
pics,
my ass. I'm talking about starfish.
in my mind,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
thinking starfish,
I don't understand that either.
and I
I don't care how pretty it is.
I think for
you got too much time on your hands if you have those pics in your phone.
First of all, how do you get a rosebud pic like
Set a
that?
timer. Set a timer.
Ooh.
Selfie camera. Starfish camera.
And
Okay.
by the way, I have seen some impressive ass pics, and sometimes these guys have really put the work and effort. And Photoshop is really a good thing sometimes. Because
especially
Photoshop
if it's starfish.
they really get up in there, and I'm like, I didn't really need to see all that. I don't mind seeing the cheeks. Just send me a picture of the cheeks.
Right.
The cheeks is fine.
I think cheeks
Leave
are
a little
fabulous.
to the
Cheeks are
imagination.
fabulous.
Cheeks are
You
fabulous.
need some imagination,
I don't
but
wanna
you don't have to spread them up and then
I
I
don't
gotta
want to
look.
see all that business.
Well, somebody rarely takes a picture of themselves contorting themselves like that in a flattering way. And then you've spent a half hour tearing your butt cheeks apart, and it's all red and angry looking and puffy. And
Well, we have listen. We have concentrated way too much on this subject.
Yes,
need
we
to
have.
move
But
the hell on.
I would like to say on this subject that this is why we are probably going to talk about this other subject, because I would be able to like to have the freedom to not have to worry about any of this stuff. If you want to send me an ass pic, send me an ass pic. It's fine. Just make sure it's just cheeks. I don't need to see all the
Send
rest
me
of
a
it.
cock pic, please.
But
No
I
ass.
enjoy a cock
No
pic
ass.
too. But
Yeah.
let's talk about House Bill in the state of Texas. I can't believe this is happening in the state of Texas. This is really really just the religious liberty bill.
Well, I have to say, I can believe it's happening in the state of Texas.
One of the most populous states in the United States. And with cities that are, now I'm not going to say super liberal, but maybe moderate. I think that most of the cities in Texas are pretty, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin are usually pretty moderate.
I think that alone is a staggering statistic because of what a melting pot it is.
To have a small contingency in Texas of people who have decided that they're going to legislate.
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. It's so ludicrous.
It's ludicrous to me that a small group of people in Texas has made sure that a House bill that will allow discrimination, using religion to do so, is now happening in Texas and will probably soon be on the desk of a governor who does not mind signing it.
Come on now, Wheeler. You know you can do better than that, Wheeler.
In spite of the fact that Amazon, IBM, all these companies have said, please don't do that. If you do that, you're going to end up like North Carolina. You're going to lose billions of dollars worth of business. You're going to lose major tournaments. You're going to lose all kinds of money that was coming into this state because you're allowing professionals. By the way, I love this. Doctors and lawyers. They made sure that they put doctors and lawyers first, and then they added plumbers later. So literally said that anybody who's in the professional field who is of a certain religion.
But a plumber, somebody who deals with pipes and holes all day long is looking down his nose at gay people.
Yeah, exactly. You are literally stepping into a sewer.
But how many pornos are just centered around like the handyman being there, like
pipes and holes, honey.
Pipes and holes.
Literally, pipe layer is like a reference.
And you are now about to put this bill on a governor's desk for him to sign. This is outrageous on so many levels. How outrageous this is!
It is outrageous, and there are so many ways this could go based on this law. There are so many different directions that you could go with this law because of the precedent. And we could say, okay, no blacks allowed. Whites only. Whites only, bitches.
But does it say discriminate against blatantly, or does it say discriminate based
what
on
it says is
sexual orientation?
No, I'm saying there's a precedent involved here. You know, it's stepping stone to a new law
right.
that could go in that direction. I'm not saying this law goes in that direction. But
they could use
the worst case. That's the worst case scenario. Right? Yeah.
This is the worst case scenario because what it really boils down to is the fact that and by the way, we're in Texas, so let's be honest. Because if you are a good Christian in Texas, and Randy is...
No, I'm a good Christian. I don't know what these other people are doing.
And I'm going to use...
Judging and...
Well, then I'm going to use good Christian in quotations. You can't see the quotations, but in quotations. Air quotes. If you are a good Christian, you can discriminate. You can say, I am not going to take care of you because my religious belief says that I don't have to.
Yeah, that's the doctor thing.
And that's the doctor
thing. That's really
going
to happen.
And the idea that a doctor would be able to look at me dead in the face. And by the way, a doctor could literally say that to literally anyone. I don't like you, so I'm going to use my religion to say that, no. But
the Hippocratic Oath says, first, do no harm.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that belies everything that they believe in as physicians. So
but does their religion supersede that oath?
It should not.
It should not.
But it can get them out of work.
And yet, for some reason, it will now, in the state of Texas, supersede that.
Yeah, but then they lose their jobs. And the medical profession will come after their so-called peers if they do that. Oh,
there's way too much science involved there. Like,
if
there's an apex of
you're out
differentiating views. It's science.
You're going to lose your medical license. So go ahead on and say you're not going to treat somebody because they're gay.
You'll be living in Salt Lake City, Utah.
What about? Let me ask you a question. What about those gays and lesbians who work in the medical profession? Who might work for a hospital that
or
might
a
have
doctor
religion.
that
Are they going to lose their jobs too?
And if they do, then they'll file a lawsuit that will fucking kick that hospital's ass to the point they'll go bankrupt. Because you can't do that.
Well, Randy, I'm going to...
Technically, you can.
Technically,
with
you
this
can.
law passed legally,
There is no...
they wouldn't have a standing in a law.
There's no protections for us on a national level. Now, the Supreme Court is taking up a case where I'm sorry, audience. I'm not going to have the full details, and I apologize for that. But they are taking up a case where someone is asking, can an employer fire me because I am gay or lesbian? Even though that there's no national protections for me, so to speak, can I still be fired because I'm gay or lesbian under the Equal Rights Amendment? So now the Supreme Court has taken that in, and now they're going to answer that question sometime during the summer. And I am very afraid of what that answer is going to be.
We were protected by the civil...
no.
I mean...
We actually have no protections.
I thought we were protected.
No, we're not. We have actually no
I know we're not protected in Texas, because Texas is an at-will state. They can fire you if they don't like the color of your eyes.
But no, there's no protections for lesbians or gays at all, and transgender and everybody else. But there's no protections on a national level when it comes to that. So now the Supreme Court, once again, the Supreme Court had to take that up when it came to gay marriage. So now they're going to have to take it up when it comes to the idea, do lesbians and gays have protection under the Civil Rights Act?
I could have sworn that
we do not.
I thought Obama made sure that happened.
He wanted to, and it didn't go through.
Well, he did a lot of things he wanted to.
He wanted to, and it didn't. And now there's an equal protection law that has passed in the House, in the Senate in the House on the national level, but it has to go through the Senate. And the Senate probably won't. The Senate, which is still Republican majority, probably won't allow it to. And even if they did,
not every Republican is anti-gay.
Well, but
not every Republican is anti-gay.
Are we really saying that Donald Trump is really going to sign this?
Exactly. That's the thing. It's checks and balances. So if 2 points in that balance lean a certain direction, there's nothing the third branch can do to. If the executive branch and the legislative branch lean towards passing this into fruition, or I heard a DJ call it fruitation one time.
Fruitation.
Come to fruition, then there's nothing that the what is it, judiciary?
Yeah. There's not much that the judiciary can do about it. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to say that when it comes to the Supreme Court, there might not be much that they can do. And
the way Trump goes around executive orders,
the legislation decides that there needs to be protections for lesbians and gays, there's not really much that the Supreme Court can do.
I think that we have.
I thought he was after the transsexuals. He's not after us.
But the Germans,
but the thing
and
is,
the Russians, and that whole sect and them adopting that, and the
seed. He didn't have anything to do with the Russians and all that bullshit.
I don't know about that.
I do. But here's the thing. Why is he interested? I don't understand why he would be interested at all in any of this.
Because we're the weakest. It's the okay. So
why he would be interested is beyond me. Can't he just sit his ass up there and shut the hell up?
No, he's not going to. He never has. So why don't we? We're almost into the 4th year, and he has not shut himself up the entire time.
He hasn't shut up the entire time.
He hasn't shut up the entire time.
He's never said anything anti-gay, but he's always against the trans, and I don't understand why he hates trans people.
When this equality bill does, if for some strange reason it makes it through the Senate and gets passed in the Senate, will he sign that? Will he sign it?
Absolutely.
Or will he?
He's playing it low. He's playing his hand. He's got.
I don't think he will.
He's waiting for the river to turn. He's waiting for
I don't think he will. You know
why?
He wants to be reelected in 2020.
Yep.
He knows the power of the gay vote.
And if the government,
we have a very powerful vote in this country. And so I don't think he would do that. I really don't think he would alienate the gay population because that would be really foolish because he does have a base of popularity in the gay community. And I think he's separated the trans community specifically because he's uncomfortable with trans issues, just like Ronald Reagan was uncomfortable with gay issues.
Well, if you think about it,
he feels uncomfortable about gay issues. So, but I don't think he's going to separate the gays from the trans because he doesn't consider trans people.
Well, I will tell you this. If you look at the Equality Act, trans people are part of the act.
LGBT.
So
I know.
LGBT.
Oh, I know.
So the fact of the matter is that
but he doesn't think
he took on the most popular sect of LGBT to hate. Because it's hard for us gay people to accept that. And
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he's not going to go against us.
No, he hitched that wagon. He hitched that wagon because it was easy, and people already dislike that.
So he's not going to go against us.
No, he's eating it backwards. He's taking them one at a time, just like they're taking gay people are the minority, the freshest to have.
But what I'm saying is he's not going to alienate us.
He is.
He
is. He already has. As gay people, as LGBT community, if you don't think that he has alienated our community, he hasn't started LGBT. We're part of the LGBT
Not completely.
Community.
Well, Randy, I hate to tell you,
but he hasn't completely alienated every gay person.
Randy, he's already put out an executive order.
If it's attack on trans, then it's attack on LGBT.
He already put out an executive order that would allow exactly what Texas is doing. If professionals who are in
that's so ridiculous.
Somebody behind the American value
thing is
and
so
the separation
ridiculous.
of church and state,
and that's
would have kicked that. It wouldn't have even gone to print.
But the thing about this whole
we
thing
had people in offices
that
were identifying with the actual
law
Constitution.
That they're proposing is ridiculous because people are going to stand up for their friends and family who are LGBT.
We think so. Until you
start taking
away their jobs,
will fail.
Those businesses.
I
have very little faith
fail.
that those businesses are actually going to pull out. I think that this is the U.S. government calling their bluff because those people aren't about the community. Have you ever seen an Intel booth? Have you ever seen an Amazon booth at Pride?
What I'm saying is those businesses are going to fail on a local level because if you're not supporting...
We still make up the minority.
Who's going... But seriously,
but like you said,
who's going to a florist who
they're in it for
has
the money.
A sign or whatever?
They're getting tax write-offs. If those tax write-offs stop
like
because they don't adopt this principle, and the government puts in some kind of.
But Randy,
they're not going to put. The government's not going to put in.
We didn't think they'd let them do this.
And
it's not any crazier for them to say we need you to eliminate
this is not a national law. This is a Texas law.
Well, this is a Texas law, but it's also an executive order.
We set the standard.
Has already stated that if you are a professional, an executive order, if you are a professional, and you work for the
based
government,
on your religion, that's ridiculous.
Yes, that's ridiculous. You can do
ridiculous.
That. It's ridiculous. So the fact of the matter is that it's not, and like you said,
it's not constitutional.
It's a stepping stone. It is a stepping
stone. And it's a scary stepping stone.
It's a scary stepping stone because if you can do it to, like you said, if you can do it to gays,
you can do it to anybody.
You can literally do it to anybody.
It's just like and when you say that it's a stepping stone, it brings to mind, and this is just my art imagination going to town here, and thinking of an MC Escher, like a famous pictorial of that staircase. And you see it in the movie The Labyrinth.
Yes.
And they're just... And now we've stepped that stone where we're completely reversed around and walking back up the same way we came.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where this leads to. It leads exactly back the way we came. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about it from a standpoint of, like, if we were playing a game of war, they've done something ingenious. Because now they have given the power to people based on their religion. And the second the government tries to take that back away from them, they will institute their right and their stance in separation of church and state, and say that the government doesn't have any right to dictate what I can and cannot discriminate based on my religion.
What happened to the
it's
separation
a
of church and state? It's ridiculous.
They've done something brilliant, because the second the government tries to retract this and reverse it, if it does go into action, there's nothing the government can do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if the government tries, then they're controlling your religion.
It's just ridiculous.
They
it's
create
a shame.
a monster, and it's brilliant. It's evil, and
it's evil,
and it is awesome. In the same way that Hitler was brilliant and awesome.
But it's also
like he
and by the way,
it's also anti-Christian. It's anti-Christian.
But we're not just saying Christians can do this. Buddhists can do it based on their religion.
But that you
don't nobody.
Let me
expect Buddhists to do that.
Oh no,
Buddhists nice.
they are way worse and
They're-
way more strict about writing off their families. Those
But Buddhist
Parisian
people are very kind.
countries and those Saudi
Buddhists are
and that-
very kind. They rolling around
They
the
are,
garden,
unless their
girls,
kid is gay.
smiling. Look at Buddha. He's just smiling, just cheesing. Got bad teeth, he's and cheesing.
But-
So, you know.
But when their
But
son is gay, and
I'm just kidding. I don't know that Buddha has
more
bad teeth.
Asian, adults who are still seeking a beard because there's no way that they can come out to their family.
Well, I want to throw this in here because I think that I would like to reiterate something that Randy said on before, and it really does ring true. This is not a bill for good Christians. This is a bill for evangelicals, which Randy and I both have an issue because evangelicals are the ones who keep telling Trump what he needs to do and the kind of country that they want to have. And evangelicals are the ones that we should be more afraid of
True that.
than anything else because
True
they have
that.
way too much power.
Get you some Pat Robertson.
And by the way, a recent poll was done not too long ago, and this was actually a couple of weeks ago, where
Randy's going to pee, y'all.
Girl,
We're lightening
really?
we're lightening the air a little.
but there was, but the fact of the matter is that evangelicals have I want to say an agenda. I'm going to say an agenda
100%.
where they want the country.
They have an
They
image.
want
they
a
have an end
good
subject
Christian
in mind. And
country of no adultery,
they have a pure
no
race.
abortion, no gays and lesbians, no this and that. So they want to impose their beliefs into American society.
I will say that we've seen that
American
before in
society,
history.
yes, American society is not going to have that.
I don't know. America has changed a lot,
Mhm.
and we have in ways advanced, and we've gone the way of this. But we have also let ourselves. We are not the same America and the country that made capitalism and an economy run by its consumers. We are not that America anymore.
No,
we are not soldiers. 50 years ago, men were jumping at the chance to go and fight for this country and die for this country and be okay with that. Nowadays, you have to hunt them down in high school and trick them into signing up to go to war for this country.
So like I said, I wanted to put that on the table. That
Stalin, Mussolini, Hitler.
Randy is a good Christian.
I'm a good Christian
Randy
girl.
is a good Christian. But what we have a problem with is evangelicals trying to impose a rule of law that should not be a part of the
I
United
have a problem
States
with
of
any
America.
religion having anything to say about any law
No,
imposed in this
exactly.
country. There's and I've always had this problem with anything when it comes to a religious basis. The sanctity of marriage. The marriage is a religious institution.
It's none of your damn business. And America should be about. The fact of the matter is that America should go back to being
instituted a
about
separation of
it's
state,
none of your
church and
damn
state.
business of who I marry, who I choose to lay with, who I choose to hang out with, who I choose to hire and fire. No.
The second the Bible says comes out of your mouth, this Inquisition is over.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
court case is over. The second anything religious comes out of your mouth as a defense for some kind of stance that this country takes against anything, done. Conversation over. There's a separation in church and state. You use the wrong language. We're not choosing to hear this. We are Americans. You live in this country. You abide by our Constitution, or you get the fuck out. Or you go to prison, and you spend the rest of your days there. You can have your religion. We have given you the freedom to have any and practice any religion you want to, so long as you do not impose on the inalienable rights of another American.
Do you know what Christians do? Real Christians do? They pray.
Live and let live.
They don't tell you nothing. They don't say you're going to hell
I hate they canceled that show.
unless they're me. And
GCB.
I'm talking bullshit to Joel. But they don't do that. They say, God bless you. And they go home and pray for you.
Or is
And
it-
guess what? You don't even know they're praying for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's a real Christian. That's a real, but a real Christian believes in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And the
And
fact
that
that there's something above them, not their
God
own
will
personal
deal
interpretation.
with this issue.
Exactly.
The only thing I can do is pray for you.
And the only thing you're allowed to do.
That's the only thing you should do.
Yeah, exactly.
So get you some Christianity, honey, because I got something for you.
And
We're about to have a show. There's about to be a show coming up that I'm going to host. And we're going to talk all about the truth of Christianity in my heart. Which, listen, my heart is true and strong when it comes to my faith. My faith ain't none of your damn business. But I'm going to let y'all know something about Christianity in the future. Right now, let me let you know.
a great
Y'all
inquiry
just
here.
pray. Y'all just pray for people. And we're going to pray. I'm going to pray for those people who think they're Christian. And this particular law that's being passed, I'm going to pray on that too. And we'll see what happens.
So is that going to be a Texas tea episode? Where we make the tea with holy water? Or is that going to be a side? Is it going to be its own separate thing?
No,
Just so
everybody in this house would burn up, girl. Everybody in this house would burn up.
I don't know nothing about no damn holy water. I
make
drink
tea with
Ozarka.
Ozarka makes me thirsty.
The holy water of
I
Texas.
love
by the
Ozarka
way.
water.
The holy water of Texas, by the way.
That's from Ozarka.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What is the holy water of Texas?
I said I drink Ozarka. I don't know that other girl's name.
Okay, well that other girl,
Aquafina.
Aquafina. Girl, I know Aquafina. She stays around the corner.
Aquafina lives in California.
I think she does.
Aquafina lives in California.
Aquafina stays in Allen Parkway.
She keeps harassing you at the bus stop, I heard.
I heard yes.
But
So,
are
no.
listeners
So-
looking out for another channel?
Mm-hmm.
Are they looking at, like, listeners who pay attention
Oh,
to
no,
this
no,
show?
no, no.
Is it going to be a special
This is gonna
episode
be
of this show?
spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
A spin-off.
It's gonna be
So
a spin-off
keep
of
an
this
eye
show.
out, y'all.
Yeah.
We're going to be dropping Easter eggs. And
A spin-off eventually. It's in the works, but
in the
trust me,
works.
we're going to have guests.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have realness.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a
Look
choir.
at Randy promoting a show that we have yet to do, but we will
Honey,
be doing that.
It's already done.
But we'll
There's
be
going to
doing
be a
that.
choir.
Mm-hmm.
they're manscaping as
Get
we
ready
speak,
for
y'all.
Randy to sing with a choir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
But this,
I'm going to be a choir boy.
but I wanted to let everybody know that as much as passionate as we are about this subject, because we are, this leads into why this episode is called "Love is the Answer," and love is the answer, and we're going to get into the.
I'm
second,
so jaded.
We're going to get into the second half of that. in
Can I just say
a little
something
bit, but
right
go
before
ahead.
we go?
Mm-hmm.
The only way that any of this purpose and angst and whatnot works, the only power that our community has is if we stick to our guns, we stand together as a mass of people, not just three angry, upset individuals that this is happening. We need to stand together as a community, and when one part of that community is attacked, they're taking on all of us.
yeah.
So anyone listening to this, stick to your guns.
Yes.
If any of you CEOs or you big dogs at any of these companies that said that you're going to go one way, if this goes the other, stick to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Don't let them
Stick to
call your
guns.
bluff.
Yeah,
don't
stick to
don't
your
have
guns.
bluffed on our behalf.
Yeah,
Stand
yeah.
behind
Stick to your
us.
guns.
Yes.
Make Texas pay
Or
like
don't
North
stand
Ca-
behind us.
Make Texas pay like North Carolina had to pay. Make Texas pay.
FYI,
Yeah.
there is no
Yeah.
reason to go to North Carolina. There's not a gay bar anywhere. It's horrible. I went to North Carolina for a wedding like 3 years ago. It's horrible.
We're getting on to the subject. We're going to talk about
We need a
that.
breather.
Yeah, it's actually it's
Y'all do.
actually it's time to take a break. So we're gonna continue the theme of love is the answer in
Love
this
is the answer.
second part of the episode, because we're gonna talk about what is wrong with us as gay men.
Not
Because
a
we
damn thing.
because if we're gonna take care of what's going on in this part of the episode, we need to start talking about what's going on with us in the next part of this episode. So we're gonna take a little bit of a
All
break,
right.
and we will be back in just a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Get your house in order, honey.
Get your house in
Do I look okay?
order.
Do I look all right?
And we're back. We're now in the second half of the show, and of course, the show is called "Love Is the Answer."
Love is the
Love
answer,
is
isn't
the
it?
answer.
I agree. Love
So
conquers all.
we're going to talk about what is wrong with us as far as just being gay men in general on the everyday. We are, by the way, this is, if you're listening to this episode, please note, I want to note a couple of things. There's no doctor at this, there's no psychiatrist at this table. It's just ordinary gay men sitting around.
Call us life coaches because those bitches don't have any kind of license. If you want to say you got some advice, say it was from your life coach.
Yes, exactly. So my question to everyone at the table is, how do we fix certain things in our gay community that we see on the everyday? Let's talk about the fact that, let's talk about the gay bars. Let's talk about addiction a little bit. Are gay men too addicted to drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing?
Well,
That maybe it might be time to say we might need to change up a little bit here now.
I don't know what in the hell you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
Mm-hmm.
gay bars are on the downtrend, which is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet is sort of taken over that spectrum. Addiction, there's a lot here of addiction. There's a lot of, now that I know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
But people are going to bathhouses on meth and crack and everything else. We need to crack down on that. Pun truly
down on
intended.
crack.
Pun truly intended. But bars, for me, bars are just a fun place to go.
It's just like any other.
I think the question I'm asking
Community.
is, as the older generation, are we passing down our addictions to the younger generation? When it comes, we talked about this before, on the shame level about being gay and everything else.
But when you're talking addiction,
now that we are open and we're more freer in this society, are we still holding on to the old ways now? And maybe we should say let the young people kind of figure their things.
I think that the domestication and that the white picket fences are coming true enough for those people in the same proportions for gay people as they are for straight people. I think that it really sits more on the shoulders of the people who have children, and it being a fault that lies firmly on their shoulders to not drive their kids to places where they, the last place they want their kids to find attention and acceptance is a bar or a drug or people who do drugs.
I don't.
Because they're not finding it at home.
I don't.
They have parents that hate them. They have parents that say things like they're
gay
gonna...
bars aren't like that. No, that isn't happening anymore. With the internet, kids are finding acceptance online now. There are chat rooms.
But where do they meet up?
They meet up on Grindr, and which I find
that's where they break the ice. Where do they meet up?
Ice.
They're not getting addiction from those places.
Why are we talking about addiction? What kind of addiction?
I'm just answering the question.
No, I'm curious as to why we're bringing up addiction. And there's nothing wrong with socializing at a gay bar. And frankly, I support socializing
I don't think there's
bars.
any more an addiction problem with our community. I think it's just it seems like a higher concentration because our numbers are so much smaller. And we're looking at a smaller pool of
population. So.
Well, right.
But our numbers seem so much higher when it comes
like
to...
a higher concentration when it comes to substance abuse and all of the things that...
alcohol abuse, that kind of thing. It really is a lot higher in our community than we like to talk about.
It's because we live in the closet. It's because we live in the shadows. It's because our parents and our families...
We don't have to live in the shadows anymore.
We don't. And some people do.
I don't know
it's completely unrealistic to think that there are not kids, tons and tons of kids, thousands of kids across the nation who the only place they can find solace and retreat from that kind of treatment is some drug dealer they met on Grindr. Who's like, oh, well, don't worry, just take some of this.
Why are
it'll
we
calm
going
you down.
backwards? I don't understand this. Everything was going fine for gay teens and everything was fine for gay teens, and now all of a sudden we're going backwards.
Because
I don't get it.
Because drug dealers are predatory, and they are preying on those youths that don't have anywhere else to turn, and they're choosing to be the first front that they encounter. They're not us as a community. We don't greet them with open arms. The first people they come in contact with are the other people standing in that one corner on the playground who's dealing drugs, or their older brother deals drugs, or their older brother hooked them up with some pot, or their older brother hooks them up with alcohol. Those people are the ones in that shadow, hiding behind that brick corner in the back of the park, or the playground, that none of the other kids are paying attention to, who don't feel accepted. And they're finding community there.
Parents need to step up. Of course, parents aren't parents.
Mm-hmm.
Parents need to step up and love their children for who they are, and they should.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm
agree.
concerned, I'm just shocked that we're having this discussion in 2019, and that's very shocking to me because most parents are enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, they're at least my age, and I'm 51.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody, young kids. You know, I used to work in the restaurant industry as recent as last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, every kid that I've ever met knew somebody who was gay, and they were part of their core group of friends. So I don't know what's going on.
Two responses to that as well. So, one, we have this unlimited kind of practice of the mixed family now. There are a zillion iterations of what family is. Me coming from a very convoluted and mixed family tree, and having been adopted, and I didn't find out that my father wasn't my father until I was 18 years old. Wow. And then the second I wasn't legally their problem, being tossed out on the street. Nothing to do with my being gay at all. But I was set out into the world, nowhere to turn, no family, no nothing. Where was I going to go? So, and then you get and I will freely admit that I got hung up in these instances where you find people rushing in, and they're manipulators, they're predators who take advantage of your misfortune and rush in and pretend to be the hero, and because they know they can manipulate you, they know that they can take advantage of you.
Yeah.
They know it's easy for them to give you everything that you wanted, and it not be nothing to them, and then just snatch it all away and know that they can control you because of that. And then they introduce drugs or anything else, any other means to control you or manipulate you.
Yeah. So,
I had no one.
So the question I'm asking here is now, do we start a new gay culture? Because for us, and when I say us, I mean me and Randy. For us, the gay bar was our culture. It was the place that we go. We went. Hold on.
No, I'm not saying anything.
The place that we went to meet other gay people, to have a relaxed atmosphere where we could be ourselves and everything else when we're among our peers.
Right.
Now that we live in a new world where the internet has taken control of that, and they're not, and by the way, the kids are not going to the gay bars as much as they used to. A lot of gay bars have closed.
No, because you can't do drugs in the gay bars. So that's not even where the problem rides from.
So now maybe it might be time to start thinking about looking at places where the kids can go outside of the internet and outside of the gay bar culture to start a new gay culture. The thing is that I would love for us as older people to be able to talk to younger people who are way into the internet, maybe too much. Just like we were way into the gay bar culture.
They're not going to listen to us.
But it's equity. Because they think they've got... There's too many older, lonely, gay people. They give into that equity. They give the young people that equity. And so even me, as a part of that older crowd, gives in and sort of, they have all the bargaining chips because they've got what I want.
They don't have nothing I want.
They've got, but
kids don't have anything I want.
In a lot of senses, they just want attention. They want something young. They want something pretty. And so that older generation gives in and folds their hand, and that, let's go to the bar, because I'm 100% like, put my number on the inside of a matchbook and send it to you with a drink.
Mm-hmm.
That I prefer that to any kind of internet interaction.
Well,
but I hand somebody a matchbook with my name on it, they're like, I don't smoke.
Well, Pinky, as a queen who is in her 30s,
Mm-hmm.
in her 30s, and who
Ouch.
is the next generation.
Early 30s.
Don't ouch, bitch. I'm
Early
51
next
years old. Don't
generation.
ouch in front of me. I will
The
slap
next
you. I'll make you
generation,
ouch.
the next, and they should be the next generation of, and I'm going to say this, the gay entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
who is looking to look at how young people hang out together and everything else. How do I start a business now that's outside of the bar scene that we have grown up with, and still have that scene for younger gay people to start a new scene?
It is.
How do we start a new scene now?
You
By
just do it.
serving half-price drinks.
But if it's
And that's
you're
how
out-
you do it.
if you're
But
outside,
not
you
a lot
starve
of
the
a
other.
lot of the young. Now, by the way, a lot of the younger people are not all about alcohol and drugs. They want to have a place where they can hang out and start a new.
They want a
gay
shield. They
scene.
want they want immunity.
Yeah.
They want an immunity. I can never say that word.
Ambiguity.
No. Being anonymous. They want. There's. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be anonymous.
Want anonymity.
Lord, I get tongue-tied too.
It's worse than aluminum foil.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
they
just
want
said
that shield
aluminum
because
foil.
there's, and I feel it too. I'm a debilitatingly shy person
Mm-hmm.
when it comes
Anonymity.
to person-to-person interaction, and virtually,
Mm-hmm.
not so much, because I don't actually have to confront any kind of psychological damage or turn down or shame.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
the
impact.
older
It's
crowd
zero
had-
impact.
yeah, the
You had to
older
worry
crowd,
about getting
yeah.
turned down.
Yeah,
You had
exactly.
personal interaction. I don't have that now. I love that about
Well, that's
Vic.
what that's why
But
that's where they are,
Mhm.
Joel.
But-
that's
and-
where they are. They're on the internet and they're on
Exactly,
the
because they
the
don't-
chat. The,
Mhm.
Because we have
You know I
starved
don't
our
do anything
we have
with the
starved
computers.
our
Yeah.
youth
They're on the
of
chat
having to deal with
rooms and
coming
stuff like that.
runner up.
So they don't do that
Yes,
anymore.
but at the
So
same-
I don't know why we're hating.
but we
people
starved them
going
to
to
runner up. It's
bars
a
and
societal
stuff.
thing.
No. I'm not. I'm.
It's a societal thing.
Yeah.
Everyone wins. We have
Mhm.
starved our children and the up and coming kids
Mm-hmm.
of the idea that they're runner up.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like
But I
no,
only
you're just as good as the winner. No, you are not just as good as the winner.
but the truth of my
winner won,
experience
and you did not.
is the truth of my experience as a youth
Mm-hmm.
and so on is that I've gone to gay bars to socialize.
Mhm.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't about looking for sex.
Mhm.
It was about finding people there that I knew, and I used to go to the same bar
Mm-hmm.
all the time, and it was just socializing with friends
Mhm.
from that bar.
Yes, but
I get that.
So-
I used to be a fixture
but
in
I have
Detroit,
to-
like
but-
everywhere.
I think that what is, and by the way, I think that there's so much emphasis on the gay bar scene that really kind of makes me go, and that needs to stop.
What was?
The fact of the matter
There
is
used to be
that even
community.
the fact
We
of the
don't have
matter is
What
is that
community center have we
Not
ever
community
had?
center. No, we used to have community. We used to have a sense of community. We used to have the speakeasy
The coffee
version
house.
of
the bookstores,
the gay place
the
to
things
go.
that
Like
you did not have to go to
They're
the gay
the secret
bar
menu
to
of
do
the
that.
neighborhood. Like
We
when it was
talked
those
about
things.
the fact that
I know.
we had the gay cafe.
We had
the gay.
we used to have the coffee
house.
shops.
And by the way,
But the
why
truth is, I never utilized the coffee shop I did,
Mhm.
but the gay cafe. No, I went with friends, but I didn't socialize with other gay people. I just hung out with my friends at the coffee shop.
Yes, but
and
you were able to
exactly.
hang.
The gay
But you were
cafe.
able to hang out at the gay coffee house or social places.
with people who accepted you,
Yeah,
whether they were
exactly.
gay or straight.
But I
We
can
don't
still
have
do
now.
that. Oh
Yes.
no, Montrose has a lot of.
Montrose. What about
More.
the rest of Houston?
Mm-hmm.
The rest of Houston, no.
That's the problem.
Well,
That's the problem because we
These
put
kids are
so
still
much-
having to hide.
They're still now. They're not having to hide. What
That's
the
what they're
problem
doing on the
is
internet.
that we keep saying that the kids all they have is the internet. We keep saying that. We say that so many times it's ridiculous.
because they have the internet.
But-
And it's not all they have; it's what they have, and they utilize it. Let's not.
Nobody has taught them how to
let's
use
not-
anything else.
Yeah,
But
and let's
we
not
were taught-
discount the power
No,
of the
no,
internet.
no.
And that they
We weren't.
can
We
communicate.
adapted. We weren't
They
taught
adapted.
that. We
And that
adapted.
they can
But at the same
communicate,
time,
but they
be-
communicate easier
Mhm.
and without shame
Mhm.
on the internet with each other. There's a total connection. So
We robbed them of the shame. That's why
yeah,
our community
so
is dissolving.
I don't
Is
have a
robbing
problem
them of
with
the
the
shame
internet.
a
100%.
bad thing?
Absolutely.
Why is that a bad thing?
What can you have? What can you possibly know about something that is good if you don't know what bad is? If you don't know a rainy day, how can you possibly enjoy a sunny day as much as somebody who does know a rainy day?
Mm-hmm.
All I
There's
know
no-
is
There's
all I
no
know
way
is
that
this.
dichotomy doesn't exist, and rob and starving
But
that
allowing
is
the
utopian and
kids-
it's impossible and it creates chaos.
All I know is this: I'm not feeling sorry for the gay kids of today at
Mhm.
all, because they have access to anything they want. There's Grindr.
I
There
feel
are all
sorry
kinds
for
of
them
other
for that
sites.
fact.
Other sites.
It makes
I
them
don't-
weak.
Listen. I don't go on any of those sites, but
I know that.
I like socializing
Mm-hmm.
at a gay bar.
Because that's what
And-
socializing is. Doing it on the internet is not socializing. It's
I don't know.
cyberizing.
Cyber.
Because you're not actually
Listen, I don't know.
socially interacting with them.
No.
There's
I see
social
that. I see
interaction.
that.
There's body language. There's
Oh
chemistry.
yeah,
there's
and
hormones,
fun.
pheromones,
and it's fun to
and,
meet
like-
new people,
and something you can't
I like
possibly
looking
get
people
from-
in their eyes and
because
speaking
that's
to
where
them.
chemistry comes from.
That's what I like.
Chemistry is impossible to perceive or experience
Exactly.
cybernetically
Exactly.
because
So I
chemistry
don't
is
know
a
what-
real thing.
Well, I don't
Just
know what
like
the
the
problem
science between
is.
two people.
I don't know.
You create a chemical reaction, regardless of how it is impossible for you to react inertly, completely blankly to another human being's presence. They either make you angry, they make you upset, they make you horny, they make you whatever, and that creates a chemical reaction
Girl,
in your
I know.
body.
I know.
And that's chemistry, and you
I
can't
know.
possibly experience that over the
That's
internet.
what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying all along. That's why I like socializing.
100%.
face to face.
I'm disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing
Yeah.
with
So
you.
I don't understand. You
But they
know,
call it chemistry for a reason. I mean, you
I
can't
don't
have it on
understand why wouldn't we want the young people to go to gay bars? And if you want to have a cup of tea, go to the tea house. Why can't we go to tea houses?
Because we don't have those anymore.
Yes,
They just-
we do.
Where?
Just choose not to.
Where-
There's a tea house right over there
Mhm.
off of Park Street.
Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
There are places to go
Mhm.
have tea. There's
That's actually a
a
cute little
coffee
tea
house.
house.
There's a
Mhm.
coffee house right over off of
Well, and
West
Exactly.
Summer.
thank you,
So,
Starbucks, for
There's
killing the
that
coffee.
The thing
lesbian
is
owned
that-
barbecue pit
Thank you,
place.
Starbucks, for
There's
killing
a
me.
lesbian owned barbecue pit place. I'm just saying, you know,
Mhm.
I don't understand what the hubbub
They just
is
won't
about.
because they
Oh,
don't have to.
By the way, I do love the fact that you said that because the fact of the matter is that yes, we do need to put it out there.
Mhm.
By the way, we do need to put it out there.
That's a lesbian owned business, or that
The
they're
fact that
gay owned
there-
businesses.
The fact that there are gay-owned businesses,
Yes, indeed,
where
we do.
you can hang out
Yes.
and do that kind of thing.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
been when I first came out. Now this was before the internet.
Well, yeah.
The internet.
Thank goodness for
And
days before
word
the
of
internet.
mouth,
Sex was
word
so
of-
much better back then.
Word of mouth was you go to the gay bars, but there was also alternatives to the gay bars. You went to the coffee houses, you went
Yep.
to the cafes, you went to the
But you said it right
restaurants,
there.
You went
Word
to all
of
this
mouth.
other stuff.
But they're
And
running
word of mouth. And by the way, that can be redone
Still
on
to
the
date,
internet.
still to
It can be
date
done.
does not.
Mhm.
Nothing rivals word of mouth for advertising and marketing and awareness.
Yeah, exactly. But word of mouth can also be on the internet as well, because if you have a place, if you're a 22-year-old gay man who wants to get out of the house and go meet other 22-year-olds, and there's no place to meet, then you don't have a choice but the internet.
And this is going to sound
And
funny.
but
but-
you need a place where you can go out and hang.
They
Well,
make
we're
a,
not doing
they,
anything
they make
about
a
it
reference.
today.
They
What
make
are
a
we gonna do
reference to
about
that
it?
kind of
What
activity.
we could do about it
in-
is talk about the fact that maybe talking to some people, by the way, and I say
Forcing
this
them to.
because I love this. I love the fact that we have a person who is in their 30s. Because now we might need to look at that
Early 30s.
range of gay men who are in their
It
30s.
doesn't matter. Bitches
who
in
are,
their 30s.
Who are
early 30s.
Shut up,
who
bitch.
have gone to college. They want to be business owners. They're trying to figure out how to bring about the idea of bringing gay people together. Go back to what we did before
100%.
and
I was the last
figure out
generation
how to
touched
use the
by
internet.
that.
By the way, you
It's a
also have the
tool.
internet experience to bring these people in.
It is a tool. And
Bring
that's
these
what people
people
don't
in.
understand is
It's
that this
it's-
was invented as
It's
a
time
way
for gay men
calculations
of
to
a
happen that you
certain
couldn't
age,
do.
and I'm saying this to the 30-year-olds that are listening out here. I'm telling this to
I'll-
you. This is the time where if you want to bring gay culture back, you have the skills to bring it back.
Well, that's
You
the
do
thing.
have the skills
We
to bring it
comprise
back.
we, and that's the thing. We comprise gay culture, and we are not
Mhm.
out in the community.
Mhm.
And that's
And look at your-
and that's where it's dissolving.
And look
is
at
there's
us.
no
Look
gay
at your-
culture
look
because
at your-
it's all happening.
Ask us. Ask your older gay men who, when they were in their 20s, used to go to the places that were not the bars.
And we used to go to Charlie's, and
Mhm.
we used to go to Empire,
Mhm.
and we used to go to different places.
Yeah, exactly. Where we
and-
could hang out
But
and
you can still go to Barnaby's
Mhm.
today
Yeah,
if you
you-
wanted
yeah.
to,
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mhm.
could still. I don't.
you can still go to Agora. I love Agora.
That's
I
what
love
I was
Agora.
talking
I
about
love
earlier.
Agora.
Love
Belly
Agora.
dancing.
Agora. If you
Agora did not pay
By
us
the
for
way,
this
if
advertisement.
you were out in the world
They're not
and you don't know
sponsoring us.
anything about Houston life, there are places where you can go where you can be openly
We should
gay.
start a secret menu for Houston. The secret
I
gay
think-
menu of
yes,
Houston.
We should. We should start the Green Book.
I
for
don't know how
Houston.
secret it would be.
We should
But
start
no,
a
but like
gay
it's a
group.
secret menu, the stuff that isn't advertised
Mhm.
readily.
Mhm.
Like it's just like the secret menu for any
Mhm.
restaurant or Starbucks. or,
If
like,
you want to
the
be
secret
gay
menu
in
at Taco Bell.
Houston and all the places that are friendly, we really should do that.
Maybe
A
we
gay
should.
Green Book where you can come to Houston and find places that you would be happy to be gay in.
Maybe
and
that's
allowed
something
to
the
be
show
gay.
should do and travel and
Yes,
and
that
do
kind
an
of
episode
thing.
of like a safe house night or like a you know
Because there are a lot of
intimate
places in Montrose, in
Mhm.
Midtown, where the heterosexual population
and outer reaches of Houston as well. They're
Yes.
out there, but
They're out there.
They're scarce, but they're out
You
there.
have to say,
and
you
the
know,
more that we pollute those
the
areas with
heterosexuals
our
don't give a shit if you're gay in Montrose.
no, because
But
they're in the
what about
minority.
the-
What about everywhere
They're
else?
not in
where
the
they're-
minority.
But
in
I
the
also
town.
live-
They are.
Majority.
But I
Still
also
minority.
lived in the outskirts of town when it came to places where I could go as a gay man. I lived off of 1960.
As
There were
far
three
as we will
bars-
travel,
There were
for-
3 gay bars in the 1960
I love the
area
room.
that I could go hang out. There were places where as a gay man,
Berry
I could-
Hill off of Kirkendall,
Mhm,
girl.
mhm.
That's where Anna Nicole Smith used to go
Yeah.
with her girlfriend
Mhm.
who worked at Wolf's Nursery.
Mhm.
And Anna Nicole Smith was not.
It really
A lesbian,
is
though.
about the
She
idea
was an
of
opportunist.
bringing back the idea of bringing back community and love for community.
well, and that's what it is.
And
It's got to be a
the love-
reality thing. It
But
can't be virtual.
You need people, and we need to. By the way, we also need to support those people who say, "Hey, I'm going to open a gay cafe, and I'm going to be in such and such, and I would love for gays and lesbians and everybody else in the LGBTQIA2A plus
I don't know
plus
about, I don't know about
all
all
this other
that.
stuff."
And I think
But
we're past
we'll
that
be able
fad.
to be able to
Kidding.
hang
I'm
out.
kidding.
Be able to hang out and just be free to be themselves and that
But
kind
we're
of thing.
free to be ourselves wherever we go.
No,
We
are
are.
not.
The people
Listen,
sitting at this table
we
don't
are
care
too.
what anyone else.
Mhm.
When is the last time you acted like you were straight?
But that's
in
just
the
us three.
Montrose area.
Oh, that's the Montrose area. What about the people who live in Kingwood? What about the people who live in Sugarland? What about the people who
Bel Air.
live in Bel Air? What about the people who live in
Crosby.
Crosby? What about the people? Exactly.
No, I have a Crosby voice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
Why?
because you gotta stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But
So yeah,
You shouldn't
that's a
have
Crosby.
to.
Well,
How far
you
is
have
Crosby
to.
from Houston?
About 31 miles.
and you
Which
can-
translates to 30 minutes. That's at highway speed, 60,
Mhm.
65. That's a mile a minute. That's
Mhm.
30 minutes away.
and
It's
I
actually
actually have,
45.
I actually
Because
have,
you have to take surface streets part of the way.
Mhm.
But they're only
Mhm.
that far away. They're that close to Houston.
Oh,
and
I
you
know,
still
but
feel
you know,
like you
you
have,
have
to put
to.
on
Yeah,
that
you
shell.
have to.
And you shouldn't.
Well, I
Anywhere
kind of like
on
my
the planet.
Crosby voice.
so I have a challenge.
Because
I
you feel
have you
safe
ever
in
heard
it.
my Crosby voice? It's
I have
fabulous.
a challenge for the Crosby person at my table, which is you,
Ooh.
Miss Randy.
Whoa.
I have a challenge for you.
me to suck a dick in Crosby?
No. For you to see
Ooh, I met a ginger on my name Crosby.
if there is a place
Oh, I did. I looked
that
for
gays
it.
and lesbians.
Oh, I
hang
looked
out.
for it. Yeah.
Did you find one?
No.
Mm-hmm.
¿Por qué no?
Porque there's no on Google.
Well, not on Google. You
Bitch, how am I supposed
You
to go?
can't tell me that
I'm
you don't
going
know.
around. I'm going around.
Put on your rubber slippers, girl, and
How do
hit
you
downtown
feel about
Crosby.
gay people.
No. Girl, trust me.
Act like a reporter.
I have been to small towns, and trust me, I have been able to always find the gay place in
And you can.
in a small town. I've always,
But it's
been-
always run by lesbians.
Mhm. And that's fine.
That's because they're the ones.
Yeah, they're
who
the
will
ones who
kick
will
those
Who
do
can
straight
get
guys'
away with
asses.
it? Who can get away with it?
And that's not
Yeah.
fucking true.
Mhm.
There's
I will
nothing wrong with that. I'm just
I
saying.
dare somebody.
They're always run by lesbians because only lesbians could do it. Because
Well, when
they're-
did men
they
stop
act
wearing
like
the fucking
girly
pants?
girls.
When did men stop
You know?
wearing the fucking pants in our community?
Yeah, exactly. When? When did they stop doing that?
And when did that become
So-
acceptable for us? Why did we think that's okay?
I don't know.
If lesbians in Crosby can find a place,
Be
where
effeminate, but we made
every
a
gay
whole
man-
movement that women
Mhm.
have just as much stance
Mhm.
as men do in our community. So if you're going to be effeminate and be a gay man, and that's fine. But take everything that comes with being feminine nowadays in 2019. If you are a feminist woman, you are in control and you own your shit and you run it. And there's so
Well, there
there's
you
so much
go.
female empowerment that then the scale should tip in the more effeminate males direction.
yeah, exactly.
They should take that as empowerment, and they don't.
No.
But they
Well,
could, and they could get away with it.
Yeah.
And we just don't because we're safer behind the screens of our iPads and our phones.
Yeah, exactly.
And we choose not to get out of
but- Yeah, lesbians do that.
I know
I
for a
don't do
fact that
any of
there's
the
more than one.
iPads and phones.
You don't, but the future
Other-
of our community does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not us
Well,
that their
there
issue
you go.
lies with. It's,
Yeah, exactly.
it's everyone who comes after, and that's where the dissolving is coming from. Because like we've all gotten to the point where, like we had that fun.
Mhm.
We did all of those things. We grew out of it.
Mhm.
And if there's not a generation, and I always have this problem dealing with the leather community because they're a very tight knit and exclusive community,
Mhm.
and they don't want to let this generation X and this next generation in because they think they're posers, or they come to the bar wearing what they go to the other bars in. It's like,
Or
well,
they
if you don't,
but
if
the-
you don't,
or they have the what I call the millennial prejudice.
right, exactly. It's like if you don't
And
allow them
that's
in and
a
let
terrible
them
thing.
see.
How are we supposed to help young people
Yeah.
do their thing if we always tell young people you're terrible at what you do, blah 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 blah.
Like,
you're
how dare you come in here
awful,
wearing
blah, blah.
shorts
All
and
right,
deodorant?
yeah.
All right, first of all, I didn't know that there was an actual leather presence anymore because of the leather bar
Mhm.
that the only leather bar left turned into Bennigan's.
No,
Mhm.
And so
the ripcord is not Bennigan's.
the ripcord last time I was there was
It's
all
the
lit
Bennigan's
up.
of
That is
all
culture.
lit up.
That's
and-
TABC's, and
But-
them still having to
but-
put food
yeah,
on their plates
yeah, exactly.
and pay their bills.
Yeah, but
TABC has ruined.
Nobody shows
the leather
up in
bar.
leather. Nobody shows up
No,
in leather
because
anymore.
the-
It's
because-
that's a jeans and t-shirt bar.
TABC and this old diehard leather community made all of us, my generation, feel like shit and feel like we couldn't be a part of that because we didn't show up wearing the right stuff or with the right attitude.
Mhm.
And I will say that firsthand. Like, I have experienced that from them. Now the 30s. And then what do you think happened? Like, after my generation, why would anyone keep going?
Yeah, exactly.
They had to opt for jeans. Like,
Well-
okay, everyone's got jeans. They used to have dress codes, and they used to have this, and they used to have
I
that.
always heard.
But you
Oh
can't
no,
get
I
a young-
remember.
you can't
Girl,
get a
I
younger-
was there back in the day.
I was there,
Well,
you know, at the end of it. And
no,
they made us feel
but
like
what
shit,
I'm
and they made us
saying
feel like
is
we
this.
couldn't be a part of the community.
Back in the day, if you were effeminate, if they found you to be effeminate at the ripcord, that's nope, next, nope, next. They even called a friend of Robert's, God rest her soul, his soul, Ashley. Ashley, Robert was there, and I wasn't there, but Ashley's tried to get
I've
in.
worked at a
in the
legitimate
ripcord,
Eagle.
and they said, no ma'am, you can't come in. He's like, I'm not a ma'am. It's like, ma'am, you can't come in. I'm not a ma'am. And a bouncer pushed him down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ripcord used to have.
Oh no,
set
I
rules.
used to, like I said, I used
But-
to work
And
at
I
a
could always
legitimate
get in.
Eagle.
I could always get in.
But I
because
also have to say
I
that.
was-
because you're barely.
But I
no,
also
I
have to
was,
say that
no, I
mining
was,
company.
no, I was slim.
But I also have to say that mining company did not allow women into the bar
Nope.
for the longest time.
No leather bar did
When I was-
unless you were a
And
big
mining
mining
company
company
was
was not a
leather.
leather bar.
that
Mining
was
company
jeans.
was
That
not a
was
leather
definitely
bar.
jeans and t-shirt.
And I was upset at the fact that I couldn't
Tom of
bring my
Finland.
female friends in with me to mining company because they were told that they could not come in. And that was a form of discrimination that I did not care for.
Yeah.
But that's where it's all gone.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
we
That's
decided to
why
be
it's all
inclusive to
gone.
your friends.
No, but I don't have
And
a
it-
problem
and-
with women in gay bars. I love women.
No. And we're.
When it's
No,
a leather
but
bar,
but back
I
in the
agree
day
with-
with the leather bar,
Mhm.
I like the leather. Listen,
I have
I
seen-
like the leather bar,
Mhm.
and I put on my persona, you
Mhm.
know, of Toby or whatever. When I would go into the Ripcord,
Mhm.
I have a different walk for the Ripcord.
Mhm.
Listen, one time I met a man at the Ripcord. I took him home. My dog didn't recognize me. I'm not fucking kidding you.
I did
I
it.
just pinned my dog up in the kitchen
I was
because
bar backing.
that's how strong
Mhm.
that facade was.
Mhm.
And my dog was like, "The fuck are you?" And I'm like, "Sparky, yeah, get in the in the kitchen, in the kitchen."
The second I got that job, the very next stop was going to see Daddy Lou and getting my leather to
Mhm.
work on shift. I used to work at the Eagle in Dallas.
Oh wow.
And when it was a legitimate Eagle, it's still now kind of on the cusp. It hasn't gone the way of our Chili's
Mhm.
of Montrose, which I don't believe deserves to bear the name Eagle.
Mhm.
Oh,
I've been to all of them. The Eagle in Detroit, the Eagle
I've never
NYC,
been to
the
it.
Eagle in Las Vegas, the Eagle.
There
in,
actually used to be an Eagle here in Houston back in the old.
and they tried to
old
bring it back, and
days.
it was good for a little bit.
And that Eagle was untouchable. Nobody. I was
TVC
terrified. I
sucked
would never.
all the life out
I
of
would
that.
never go into that Eagle.
Mm-mm.
That's when Kathy Whitmire was mayor of Houston,
Mhm.
and that Eagle was hardcore,
Mhm.
according to what I've heard.
St. Andrew's crosses
But
on
I
the wall.
I was only 16,
Mhm.
and there was no way in hell.
So basically, put what I'm getting from all this conversation that we've had, and it's the best conversation I think we've ever had because I think it's just amazing. What I'm getting from here is now it might be time for you and I, Randy, to pass the torch to the young kids. Let them do their thing. Let them do their thing in the way that they want to do it.
I ain't
Because
stopping
we
nobody.
did, when we were young, we did our thing the way that we wanted to do it.
Don't act like I'm stopping anybody.
No, but
you're not
we-
stopping nobody
but-
from doing what they want to do.
No, I'm not stopping anybody. But what I'm saying is that I've noticed this not only just from the gay culture, but I've also noticed this from the heterosexual culture as well.
It's all.
Is the fact of the matter is that why are we beating up on young people?
There's no such
to
thing as
do their
second
thing.
place.
Let them do their thing. They are the new generation. It's time to let them do their thing and figure out how to do it. And us stepping back, and by the way, when I say us stepping back, I mean us actually enjoying our lives now.
And you are, and that's
I
the thing.
think that we,
That's where the community is separating.
as
You guys
older
are-
gay men should be enjoying our lives now. And whatever young people want to do, as far as them being
Why
gay,
am-
You are, though.
Why?
You are. That's the separation.
Yeah.
Is-
Why
is
are
that
you
community is
painting a
staying at
picture
home.
of us being bitter and not
Because
accepting
this is
other
what-
gay people?
because
I
this
don't give
is
a
what I
shit what they
constantly
do.
have to deal with when I deal with people who are our age group. Whether it's,
You ain't dealing with it from me.
I didn't say from you, and you need to take that
keep
off.
including
No,
me.
I need you to take
We.
that off the table.
You keep we and me.
When I say we,
we.
you know what I mean when I say we. So take it off the table.
Well, I don't think
When
me
I
off
say
the
we,
table.
I say people in our age group who are both either gay or straight, who constantly criticize everything that young people are doing
Oh Lord, I hate
when it
that.
comes to their thing. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't y'all just let what young people do their thing? Why
I
can't y'all
disagree
just-
with that. I could not disagree with that more.
Why can't y'all just let
Well,
young people
I
do their
don't-
thing?
I-
They're going to make mistakes. They're going to do stupid things.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's fine because Guess who told us the same thing? Older people when
But
we were
according
young.
to past, but I have
that's
to
the
be.
thing.
I have to
We
be
have
on.
stopped
Wait,
people
wait.
from
Let me
telling
say
them
something.
that
Let me
they're
say
doing
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me say something. According to past episodes,
Mhm.
and I'll own it, I've said millennials are stupid. And I apologize for saying stupid. I meant dumb. Millennials are often dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb is different. Ignorant.
Mhm.
Dumb. Different.
Mm-hmm.
Because stupid means you can't learn shit.
Thank you.
Dumb and ignorant means you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I apologize.
It's a willful.
And I'm going to give a high five that was invented by gays.
It
Right
was
there.
invented by
Invented
a
by
good
a gay man.
baseball
No player.
And
Know
San
your history.
Francisco.
What?
Yes. And
Yes.
The
Gay
gay
man.
high five. The high five was invented by a gay man.
He was a baseball
And he
player.
was a baseball player.
And
Hit a
guess
home
what?
run.
What was his name?
He was out. He was out too, and don't ask me to remember his
Don't
name.
ask me to remember.
I'm drinking.
We already did that.
But guess what?
Guess what? He invented the high five.
And anywhere you went in San Francisco, if a man went like this.
Oh, by the way, he did play for San Francisco.
Yeah, he did. And if a man raised his hand like this,
Chris. I'm sorry.
bitch,
Miss Pinky.
look,
Yes.
if a man raised his hand like this, and another man, that meant you were gay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I grew up in the era when if you had an earring in your
Mhm.
your right ear,
the
you were
left
gay.
Oh,
ear,
yeah, it's the
actually,
left
it was
No,
ear.
left
left,
ear you were straight.
Yeah.
left ear you were straight,
The
right ear you were gay.
That's why
We
my
went
mom
through that.
pierced.
It
My mom
doesn't
pierced
happen
my
anymore.
me
Which, by the
and
way-
all my brother's ears.
Which, by the way,
I was in first grade.
Which, by the way, when I got both of my ears pierced, my parents were like, "We just give up.
Mother.
We don't know. We just give up.
I ain't
You got both of your
piercing
ears
nothing.
pierced. We give up. We give up.
Joel Wood.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. Do your thing."
But
So-
I think that
Mhm.
presence, like
Mhm.
that presence that the older generation used
Mhm.
to have over our generation,
Mhm.
is what's missing.
Yeah.
Us not having us not being able to speak about and it sticking that we have a problem and we have an issue with the way that they behave and the way that they do what they do.
Mhm.
The same way the generations prior
Mhm.
have had. Like, it used to mean something when somebody older than you said something to you. You
Mhm.
weren't just some asshole at the grocery
That's
store
true.
that
That's
mommy.
true.
He
At
just
the same time, older people
We've taken that
were
away from
okay with
them.
investing in younger people. Now it's a war. It's a
Yeah.
war between older and younger.
Yeah.
And in the past, it used to be about passing shit on. Now it's I'm better than you because I'm older than you. No, I'm better than you because I'm younger than you. And that is why we are having so many issues right now.
Yeah, because older and having more insurance doesn't mean the same thing that it used
Yeah,
to.
exactly. So this is we've now going to take a break, and we will be back. We're going to end the third half of the show by having a good time. So we'll see you guys in just a bit. And we're back. We're back into the last half of the show.
We're
And-
bad girls.
And I'm back, of course, with Randy and Pinky. So now I'm going to lead off with a question, because now we're back to now let's get to work. And now let's get to work means what do we do personally for ourselves to improve our own lives as gay men? So I'm going to tell a quick story because something happened to me recently, and I wanted to share this. So recently, I told a gentleman that I liked and cared for them, and I did it sober, which is, by the way, which is something that I always had a hard time with. But I was able to look at a gentleman in the face and was able to tell them exactly how I felt about them and everything else. And I was rejected. However, the rejection made me extremely happy. And I am at a loss at why the rejection made me extremely happy until I thought about it a few days later. And what turned out is the fact that this was the first time. Now, I have been through a lot of bad I will say that I have not been in a relationship, but I've been in a lot of bad relationships. I have always fallen for men who were terrible for me. I've always fallen for men who had issues. When I talk about issues, I'm not talking about that they didn't like hot dogs or at a football game or this and that. I'm talking about they had issues. They had drug issues. They didn't have a place to live. I always fall for men.
It's like a
who
hit
always
list of,
seemed
every day dated these 5 guys.
who always seemed to have issues, and I finally was able to fall for a man who, one, had his shit together, who was smart, funny, sexy, and as hell. And when I got the rejection, I realized something. I actually fell for a guy who was decent. And
Right. You were the one.
I'm like, whoa! I literally fell for a guy who was decent, who had all his stuff together, who didn't have major issues. He might have had minor issues, but he didn't have major issues. And that brought a sense of self.
There you go.
And for the first time,
Well,
I
your taste is
literally
maturing.
literally
That's a sign of
smiled
growth.
for 3 days because I'm like, I now know that I can actually fall for a guy
We on a slow roll
Who's
here,
worth falling
girl.
for?
who's worth falling for. That made me so
There you go.
happy. That
There
meant
you
that
go.
I
It's an
have
evolution
now
of, like-
stopped doing the circle.
You broke
And
the
the-
cycle. You're able
I
to see
finally
value
broke-
that is
exactly.
actually worth something.
She broke the cycle, and what had happened? What had happened after
As
that?
actual value. What had happened was
What had happened is that when I realized why I was rejected, I realized, wait a minute. Now I get it. I have issues that I need to work on. That I need to work on for me to pursue the one thing that I said that I would never pursue, a relationship. I would like to have a relationship. I have never said that out loud to the point where I actually mean it.
Oh, and now you have. Bless him.
But I like the idea of the fact that I would like to have a relationship with someone.
There you go.
I have the most amazing friendships on the planet, and I've learned a lot from my friendships.
yeah.
And I've learned how much that my friends will put up with me. I've literally learned how much my friends will put up with a lot of shit. But when it
And you
comes
testing it now.
but I understand the difference now. When it comes to the idea of living and loving someone and also having a sexual relationship with someone, it's a different story.
Well, like,
And
right,
you-
exactly, where you
it's a
cross
completely-
boundaries. Where,
yeah,
like,
it's
you're,
a different
you become-
story.
you become
That is a
friends
different story.
and,
That's a different
you know,
story.
friends
So
and
what-
lovers, and you
so
understand what it is.
What
to
have we learned from
bridge
this
those.
girl? What have we learned?
What I want to ask is, have we come to the point now as gay men that now we need to start transcending the idea of who we were before and starting to look at the future of who we can be after that?
I guess it just depends on your values as an individual. Like, I personally, 100%, I like me enough, and I'm shy, and I'm debilitatingly shy. Like, can't approach people, don't like approaching strangers. That's why that whole, matchbook and a drink thing.
By the way, this
exists for me.
bitch can wear a pair of heels at the gas station and pump gas, but she is shy as hell.
I'm
But okay.
shy, but right, exactly.
That's what she said.
I would walk around
That's what she
Target for
says.
3 hours, already late for a podcast, trying to look for what I'm looking for, and I will not approach somebody wearing a red polo and ask them where what I'm looking for is. But my philosophy now, and I think it comes with experiencing life. I have experienced a very, very condensed series of shit that people go through in life. Like, I buried a brother before he was 21 years old. I buried a cousin who was, before he was 30. My entire family has battled with addiction and things that shorten your life, and seen it all happen in fast, almost fast forward and seeing them, and able to, and it got me interested in the psychology and social psychology and those things and what makes people do that so that I didn't fall into those things. But, like, it makes me lead now. Like, I'm so much more efficient in my dating process. Like, I 100% lead with every red flag and deal breaker that I can. Like, I let you know up front. I'm a smoker. If that's a thing for you, step on. Like, I wear heels. If you don't like that, if you think that makes me too feminine for you, you're out of your fucking mind. But carry on. You can't bore me in the bedroom anyways or anywhere else. Like,
All right.
These are the things that are me, and if you can't accept them, it would be a waste of your time and mine, of which no guarantee is made how much we have. Time is the only commodity you cannot make more of. You can make more money, you can make more clothes, you can make more food, you can make more everything. You can never make more time. Time, as far as gemstones are concerned, if every commodity is a gemstone, time is the only one, is a diamond. Like, when you have time...
Or wine, or good red wine.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have... It's a precious stone, and you can't make more of them. They don't exist. There just is as many as there is. And none of us know how many that is. So until you don't have enough of it left to...
Well,
so the question is, and this is a very good question that I would like to ask, especially to I'm on Facebook a lot, and I'm in a lot of groups where I am talking to a lot of gay men who don't seem to have the wherewithal to understand who they are as people and try to accept the fact that, look, I'm not the pretty guy. I'm not the slim guy. I'm not the muscle guy. I'm just me. And how do I find someone who will love and accept me as a gay person? The gay community is harsh. It is
yes, indeed.
It is harsh.
We've spoken about that, that's
extremely.
true.
It is harsh.
It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of confidence for a certain type of guy to get out there and put himself out there, and so.
And I'm starting to see a little bit from both the older and the younger generation, which is so funny to me, and I'm starting to see this both from the younger generation, that the complaints are the same. The complaints are literally the same. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not slim enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not this and that. The complaints are the same on both sides. So the thing is that what I'm asking is, how do we improve gay self-esteem?
Own who you are.
Exactly.
Own who you are.
The thing is,
quit wasting time with these images that not even
you have to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You love yourself enough to know that you're worth it. And there have been times that I thought, I'll trick with him simply because he's the last guy in the bar.
He'll do it.
And then I thought to myself, no, girl, I'm not going on with this man because he's the last. No, and then I didn't. But then there were other times when I did go with the last man in the bar.
But the thing is to think about before you even think.
No, but I regretted it
in your thought process. Is for everyone to think like somebody else was thinking that about me.
Yeah. But I know,
and they either did or didn't,
that I'm worth better, and so I didn't go home with them. I'd rather listen.
But why?
There's an old blues song that says, "I can do bad by myself. I don't need nobody's help. I can do bad by myself."
But was it?
So I go home and watch some TV and go to bed.
Why was it bad? Was it bad?
It was bad because I wasn't really attracted to him, and he was attracted to me, and I am attractive. No, I would never hurt anybody's feelings like that.
But
I simply
why
said,
do we think like that?
Good night.
Why do we think like that?
Why do we think like that?
Why do we think that automatically you being honest with him would hurt his feelings? You didn't say that he was ugly.
No,
you
said
you weren't attracted to him.
No, I never said
that either. That's not
the
same as saying.
I never said that either.
I understand, but we have to stop thinking of that as you attacking me. Like, if you tell me you're not attracted to me, thank you. Thank
I don't-
fucking
yeah,
goodness.
I
exactly.
don't think
You
of
were-
that as
you had
an
the
attack
ability-
at all.
Yeah,
In
like, thank
fact-
goodness you had the ability to fucking be honest with
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Like,
Yo, no, I
nobody-
love that. No, I love that.
I would
And
much
don't
rather
mind
somebody
that
tell me
at
the
all.
fucking truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
And
I
nobody
like
wants-
that.
and nobody
no,
wants
I
to
do
do that.
like that.
Mhm.
And I've
Because they're afraid they're going to hurt
experienced that.
somebody's feelings.
No,
It's
I
like,
ex-
I will take the time to explain to you why, like, I would rather tell you the truth.
I'm
and
not
hurt
taking
your
all that
feelings.
kind of time.
I think-
We can talk.
That's what
We
we
can
need to do.
continue to talk and be friends, but I'm not attracted to you. It's
But you
fine.
didn't say that to him.
I did at the end.
Now put it in.
Oh, well, I mean, I asked if you said that to him. You said no.
now
no,
put,
I did. What
Okay,
I
well,
didn't
that's
say is that you said, did you tell him he was ugly?
No, no.
I would never do that.
Right, but you just told me you weren't.
We're
attracted to
just
him.
not-
and that's
So,
what
yeah.
it should be. But we don't do that because we're afraid we're going to hurt somebody's feelings, and hurting somebody's feelings
Oh, that's
and
the last
somebody
thing I would
else's
do.
delicate sensibilities
That's the
are
last
somehow
thing I
our
would do.
problems. It's like no.
so
Just 'cause
let
their
me.
feelings are hurt
So let
is
me throw.
not-
So let me throw this very, very weird question in here. If you were to be able to step outside of your body, and you were walking down the street, and you saw you coming down the street,
Mhm.
would you? Or no, I shouldn't say coming down the street. If you were in a bar situation,
Coming down the street's fine.
would you ask you out?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, I like fat guys.
I like to think that I would, but no. I like to think that I would, but I'm not sure. I can't answer that question because I have knowledge of who
Mm-hmm.
I am, and
Mhm.
so I can't because I have a lot to offer as a
Mhm.
person.
Mm-hmm.
I have a good heart.
Mm-hmm.
A good friend to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of variables
So would you
that
tell?
people can't see. That
I think
are
I could be
on-
friends
that
with
are
myself,
on
though.
you can't see beyond the surface unless you look beyond the surface. And I want to cite one time many years ago, and I'm big as hell now, and I was
Mhm.
big as hell then, and
Mhm.
I'm working
But
toward.
even your tone right now,
No,
you're,
no.
you're getting down on
No,
yourself.
I'm not. I'm
Just from
not.
the tone of your
no,
voice.
I'm not. I'm going to tell you a story. So, we were talking, this guy and I, and we were hitting it off big time. Big time. And I thought to myself for a second, and I actually said it to him, because I said, would you like to go out and have coffee or... Girl, I wasn't trying to trick because my house was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I was like,
Been there.
would you like to go out to dinner sometime or something like that? And he said, oh, no, you're very nice, but no, thank you. And you know what I said to him? And I honestly said this from my heart. And that's why you noticed a change in my tone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm honest about this. I'm honest about everything. But this cut me to the core. Well, I wanted him to know who he was talking to. I said, oh, I get it. You don't see me. He said, I'm sorry, what? I said, you don't see me. You don't see me. I'm here. I'm the person you've been talking to all this time. And we've connected on all these different levels. And because of what you see, you can't get past that and see me. And I said, I get it. I'm sorry. But I get it. I'm sorry for him. Not for
I was going
me.
to say, I feel sorry for him.
For him. Because he didn't see me. And that is the truth of what really,
For you all-
so
I think what I'm asking here is, and this is really the boldest question I'm asking. If that's you sitting in that chair, looking at you sitting over here, do you think that you would be attracted to you? Do you think that you would want to invest in going out with you? Do you feel that you would you would want to do that.
I mean, I personally wouldn't, no, because there is a physical type that I have that my stature doesn't fulfill. I would not be dishonest with myself. I would not be polite to myself. I would not dance around the issue and kind of lead you on because I saw some sort of gain there. I think that I would definitely be my own friend. I think that I like the person that I am so much, and I am that transparent. And transparency is really the key there.
Yeah.
And I will say this about the gentleman you were just talking about. He saw you. He was just embarrassed by what he thought it might mean to everybody else. And he was too much of a coward to take on that he liked you and carried on for as long as he did when there wasn't a you image and you and your physicality attached to his
because we
image
talked for hours.
of what
because
he
we
wanted.
spoke to each other for hours. So what
And
you're
that-
asking me
I deal with that a
is-
lot in the Chub Chaser community.
But what Joel is asking me is, would
No, but
I
that-
go
I'm
out with
asking-
me?
yeah,
And yeah, I think I would. I honestly think I would, because I would see me in that person, and I've been with all kinds of men.
I tried skinny once. I
But-
just didn't like it.
But no, there are things that make people attractive beyond physicality, and that's what I would like.
Well,
Listen.
I
will
guess-
see that.
I guess
I totally
think
give
I think
on
I'm
that.
attractive.
Can I?
You're
and-
absolutely attractive.
Can I
in
ask-
way more than one.
Can I
way.
now answer the
Yeah.
question? I find myself to be a very attractive man. I'm a very attractive man, and I know this from being out and about. I'm an attractive man. But if I saw me walking down the street, I would probably talk to me for a little bit. But once I got to know me, I probably wouldn't date me. And the reason why I wouldn't date me is because I would see the things that I know that I need to improve, that I know that I could do better with.
Lord have mercy.
Oh no, that I can do
No,
better
I'm
with.
just saying. What?
And I
You don't know
probably
who you
wouldn't.
are.
For me, the top of that
from
I
that
probably wouldn't.
perspective. But you don't know who you are from that
Because
perspective.
I look at that in other men. See, that's the thing. I
me-
look at that in other people.
the
So,
very pinnacle
the
of
very
that
things
problem
that I don't
is that
like
you
ab-
said, I know I'm attractive. I have been
Yeah.
from being out and about.
Mhm.
From the response you get from everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
you know you're attractive. That is the core of that
Mm-hmm.
issue, and that is what we need to improve. You need to know that you're attractive because you woke up every fucking
Yeah.
morning and you're like, damn, I'm even fucking cute when I
Yes.
roll out of bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Without anybody
But
else's
I know
response,
this.
with no
I-
kind of sense of
I know
consensus
this,
from the crowd.
but if I were to split myself into the other half of me that I know, who I know that other half,
yeah.
that other half would probably go, I like you. I think you're really cute and funny. And you have this thing going on about you that's amazing. But you also have a lot of issues that I probably can't deal with.
Girl, you need to
And
deal
you
with
need
your
to
issues.
work.
I would say that you guys would probably have like a like
And by the way,
conversation a
I'm
lot like you
okay.
and Chris have, where
But
like,
I-
oh, mine's bigger.
No. I know that I could deal with that, and I'm
Does
okay
Chris
with
have a
that.
big one?
Who are you talking about?
He just said,
Chris Purvis.
yeah. Chris had a
They're
big
always
one,
having
though.
a dog and pony.
Oh,
About
I don't know
that.
anything about that. Anyway,
I don't
Next.
know what you're talking
Continue,
about.
continue.
Go on.
But the fact of the matter is that I know for myself what I would want in another person, and I'm going to be honest.
and you're not it?
But you wouldn't know that looking from yourself in a third party, a neutral third party.
Exactly.
You would just be a stranger.
Mhm.
Like you have to take an objective stance at
Yeah.
that and say, would you date you on the surface, not knowing you?
But
Would
if,
you go on a second date with
But
you?
if I could use that to improve who I am right now, then I'm okay with that.
As long as it comes from within you.
Yeah, exactly. If
And
I
not
can use
because you
that
think
to
it comes
Yeah.
from somewhere else.
If maybe not doing it, hey, well, maybe you don't need to drink as much. Maybe you don't need to be this and that. If I can get to those certain things that I know that are wrong, and get to the other things that are who I am. Look, who I am is who I am.
Exactly.
And if you don't like that, that's that's fine.
Anyone
But
can
the
be that mess.
superficial things on the top. Oh Lord, no! I can deal with. Oh Lord, you don't want to smoke?
Yeah.
I don't smoke.
Yeah.
Anybody can
You don't
be
want to drink?
that
You
mess.
smoke occasionally.
I smoke occasionally.
Anybody
But
can be
if
that
I
mess.
were
We've
to
been
be-
smoking occasionally the hell out of Piggy's cigarettes.
I know.
The trick is
The
surrounding
trick
yourself
is-
with people who back you up, who second your motion to be just generically you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But you know
No
what?
additives.
You know
just
what?
But
not
what
watered
I've
down,
discovered-
not out boozed up,
But
not
what I've
any of that.
discovered, what I've discovered in my thing, and this is
145 years.
in my 145 years of life on Earth, what I've discovered is that I now understand why people end up together, and what they end up with is two people who share certain ideals on a certain level, but then they have to deal with all the crap that goes with it.
But you think about
and that's
I've never.
Think about
That's
the
the-
concept of soulmate,
Mhm.
like the other half of
I've-
your
I
coin.
don't believe in
I
soulmates.
like
other
to
half-
think.
the
No,
other half
I
of your
do.
being,
I
they are
do
perfectly
believe- I
complementary.
do believe in soulmates.
I don't
I
believe
have
in
to.
soulmates.
I've never met a man that I was in love with. I've never been in love.
If-
But I like to think
if
that
soulmates
somewhere
is the
out
case-
there, I like to think that somewhere out there, there is a man who honestly gets me.
and is broken in a complementary
Yeah,
way.
exactly. It's
to
broken.
you.
Yeah.
They would have to be
Who
broken.
this is you.
Why in the hell?
Because-
are
because-
you saying they would have to be broken?
because
Because
in a
everyone
way, everyone is
you
broken.
can't go through life and
You can't
experience
go-
any kind of life
Yeah,
without
exactly.
any kind of cracks.
no, I
or
don't
wet.
mind that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
Joel just
everybody's
seems to focus on the
broken.
fact that this motherfucker has to be crazy.
No.
No, and any person does. Any person has to be crazy
Yeah, exactly.
to tie
I'm
themselves
kidding
to
with you,
another
Joel.
person.
Joel,
Because
I'm playing with you.
I mean, I guess I say that from my own experience because I know how crazy I am, and I know the crazy that comes attached with me, and the person who is able to handle that and
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't want to say wrangle because that makes it seem like they're controlling me. The person who's able to harness that and tame that and work with that and mellow
I
my
don't like the
my
word
fire.
tame. I don't like the word tame.
Well,
I think that they
but-
should
but
just
he-
like.
He knows what he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Not domesticate, not you
No,
know.
you mean
Yeah, you mean
But
someone.
they're able to. They extinguish that fire the
Yeah,
second
exactly.
it happens. It's a neutrality.
Mhm.
that happens there.
I've always thought that I would meet a man who was different than I in the right way. Like still waters run deep, and I'm the mouthy one, of course.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
So,
And it's just it's like
he's out there somewhere. I'm gonna find that motherfucker.
well, and that's the thing. Like, and that's part of the problem is people are always looking.
Oh,
It's nothing that
that's
you look for.
not true. I'm
This-
not looking for shit.
If you even if
Ask
you're
Joel, do I look?
based on
for
nature,
men,
like
no.
just pure
I-
odds. Like if you're looking for your fucking keys, you can't find them.
No, but I'm not
The
looking
second-
for a man.
No, I know. But the second you stop looking for your keys, you find them. You're able to conjure like when
So
you're in a hurry
let's-
and you're running out the
I
door and you're paying,
just
you're looking
said
for it.
I'm
So
not looking for
let's-
I'm just saying in
shit.
general, people.
I'm not looking for my goddamn keys anyway.
So let's shut down this episode of Love is the Answer by saying that yes, everything's complicated. It's so complicated because we are three people trying to figure out life,
Yeah.
and we're having a good time trying to figure out life. But sometimes I think
But have a
when it-
good time figuring it out.
I think that's exactly. I think that the problem with a lot of gay men is they're so hooked. They can't be alone. They cannot be alone.
Focus
They
on the
cannot-
wins.
They focus on too much of being with someone instead of focusing on fixing yourself.
Rue said it. My interior design instructor
Mm-hmm.
said it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'll use the reference because it's not copywritten by my interior design instructor, and it is copywritten by RuPaul.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that she uses reference of a cake,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you think of yourself as a cake. If it's a shit cake and you put really good frosting on it, still just a shit cake.
Mm-hmm.
And all anyone's going to talk about is the frosting. Focus on making yourself a really good, solid cake.
Yeah, exactly.
All by yourself without the frosting.
Mm-hmm.
And then find some frosting that's worthy of that fucking cake. And that happens without the frosting. You can't even start on the frosting until the
I've
cake
been
is
able to
made
eat
and
a
perfected.
plain piece of cake without frosting, and it's the most delicious piece of cake on the planet.
Oh, I
I love a pound
And then
cake.
if
I
you
love
throw
cake.
frosting on
I love a good pound cake.
I'm dense like pound cake. That's what I say about myself.
So basically, but can we end this episode? Are we done?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we're done.
Y'all,
yeah.
Y'all,
we'll
we're
see
done.
you next week.
We're
Yeah,
not
we're
done,
done.
but we're ready
Yeah,
to
we're
go.
not
for
done.
that.
Let's keep talking.
Oh, we're
but-
gonna keep talking.
Y'all look out for us.
Y'all look out
next
for us.
week.
Joel and Randy's Texas Tea. By the way, if you have any questions, any issues, you want to talk about what we talked about today, Joel and Randy's Texas Tea on Facebook, at Joel and Randy's ST1 on Twitter, Joel and Randy's Show on Instagram.
Joel's
Post some
Rain Show
picture.
1 on Instagram.
Yeah, post some pictures. Say, hey, how are you guys doing? Are you guys okay?
How are you making love the
How are
answer?
you making
Hashtag
love?
is the answer
Love
on
is the
Instagram.
answer. Love is the answer on Instagram.
Take the pictures. Show us how you're putting it in action.
Gay community, get your shit together and just love each other.
Get your house in order.
Get your house in order, because if you don't have your house in order, you can't fix nothing. You can't fix nothing unless your house is in order. So we're gonna end this episode. Everybody laugh and giggle.
It
Everybody's happy as hell.
doesn't
Yeah,
get better, but
exactly.
you can make it better.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm-
And by the way, does anybody have?
What?
You know what? Here's the thing.
What?
You
What?
can't get stoned to death in Brunei anymore. So we're done with that. And
Oh, we trying to get stoned up in here.
but we gonna get stoned up in here.
I may or may not have a coach purse in the back of my car that I hide my
Mm-hmm. But we're done.
stonables.
My
My Flintstones. My Fruity Pebbles.
All right.
All right. All right. Bye, bitches.
If you ain't gonna be good at it.
No, that's right.